Hello, beauties and gents. It's me again. If you don't know me, I am Deetra D. Carter. So I'm a certified life coach and I'm an author and all that good stuff. But more importantly, I am a friend. So I definitely started this vlog, Dating with Deetra, just because I wanted to share some of my experiences when I became single several years ago. I just had so many questions, and I've been through so many things that I would ask question after question after question, and I got some answers. So I know a lot of people are not like me when it comes to asking questions, looking for answers, and things like that. So I wanted to share because I know a lot of people are going through some of the same things that I went through, but they don't want to tell anybody. I have no problem with telling the truth, telling it how it is, telling what I went through and what I learned from it. So that's what being a coach is all about, is really just sharing your experiences and coming alongside with someone, keeping them accountable for what they said they wanted to do. So here it is. If you know somebody that they're always talking to you about their relationship problems, you feel like they need to let this go. They really need to let this situation go. If you feel like that and they're just like unclear about it, see, here's a good way that you can get them some answers. You can share this video, you can invite them in and have them watch this, okay? So feel free to share the video, because I'm talking about today's what you think question, because I always had a, hey girl, what you think? What you think about this? And I definitely asked the fellas too. I would ask them the same thing. What you think about this situation? And I still do things like that. So the what you think question for today is, when is it time to let go? So I'm going to give you guys a few thoughts that I have, and I want to see what you guys think as well. So as I'm talking, then feel free to comment, and usually at the end I'll go ahead and look through and see if I had any comments. So if you come on and I haven't acknowledged anything, or you make a comment early on in the live and I don't say anything, I will get back to your comment. And even if I can't get to it on the live, then I'll definitely respond to you either in another video or I'll comment. I usually am pretty good about going back to the videos and going through the comments and things like that, because I'm just starting. So it's pretty easy to do. But that being said, I do have like a list here about what I came up with, as far as I had 5 things. And it's pretty simple, and it's a list that I really wish somebody had just been just bottom lined me, because I would just go in circles and circles and circles about a situation when it was really cut and dry. So here's the first one. When it's time to let go, when your needs are not being met. Okay. So I grew up really with in a strong Christian background, very religious. I don't really consider myself religious anymore. I'm more spiritual. So I've changed more recently. So I was always thinking about, how can I please this other person? And really putting myself and my needs on the back burner. But then honestly, I would get pissed off about it. So Christians, I'm sorry, I may say hell, pissed or something like that. So sorry about that. If it offends you, then probably not religious enough for you, because I like to just be honest and speak how I speak. But if that's okay, give me some love, because I know for some people that is not okay. But anyway, it was all about like pleasing the other person, and I really put myself on the back burner. But what would happen is I would get pissed off that certain needs that I had were not being met, but I wouldn't really even always voice those needs. And by the time I voiced those needs, then it would be an argument and things like that. So after you have voiced that what your needs are, that was not the proper way to do it. Let me be clear about that. It's not the proper way to do it. And fellas, I got you back with this one, because women are, we do stuff like that. There's some things that we need, and instead of being honest and telling you like, this is what I need, we kind of hold it in and we're sitting there pissed off and we're not expressing ourselves. So I have done that, been guilty of doing that. But as I've grown, then I learned that you have to share what you need. Like, that person cannot read your mind. So if you are committed to being with this person and you are not sharing what you need, then that's not fair to that person. So after you've shared what you need with that person, if they are not meeting your needs, then, it is what it is. That's not something that you should be holding on to when you've already shared. And I give people more than one chance. Like, I'm going to tell you what my needs are, give you a chance to kind of work out whatever you need to work out. And I'm also going to be meeting your needs to the best of my ability. And if I notice over time those needs are not being met, then we are just not a good fit. So it's nothing personal or anything like that. It's just not a good fit. And I've had several situations. The video would be too long for me to explain, give you examples of this, of where my needs just were not being met. Like, for example, I'll give you one at least. The attention. I know I like to talk. I love talking. Obviously, that's why I'm doing a vlog. So if you are the person that's like super, super busy, you can't talk, you're not for me, period. Okay. And you have to accept that about yourself. If there's something that you really need, that this woman is just not able to do, or this man is just not able to do, then you just got to keep it pushing, because they're just not able to do that. So it's going to make them feel bad if you continuously stay in that relationship. And this person, because of whatever situation they're in, even if it's a mindset, they're not able to meet your needs, you got to let it go. That's when it's time to let it go. Another thing is, you are no longer being respected. So this goes both females and males. When this person has lost respect for you, and that shows up in a number of ways. So if you feel free to comment on some of the things that are just disrespectful, that people just don't, seem to notice, because some people are being disrespected in their relationship. They're being disrespected and they don't even notice. Okay. So, things like just failure to communicate really important things, showing up uber late, just things like that, where you're not respecting my time. You are not communicating things that I need to know. And people will say, oh, you didn't ask, things like that. They hit you with things like that. That's not okay. To not communicate things that I need to know. And we're both grown here. This is more targeted towards people over 30. So we're all adults here, and we know that there's certain information that you need to disclose. And there is certain things that is just plain disrespectful. Okay. So when you start noticing there's little things, I'm not talking about he called me a bitch or, things like that. I'm talking about the little things where you start to notice this person doesn't respect me, especially the thing, flaking out on dates and things like that. Even if you've been together for a while and you rearranged your whole life because you need to go out on this date, because you get older, you just have a lot of different responsibilities, things going on. So when you've rearranged all kinds of stuff and then you don't hear from a person, things like that, you need to let that go. Okay. It's like a no-brainer, but I know now it's a no-brainer for me. But I know in the past, I've been really forgiving. And like I said, my religious background, and I was always thinking should I forgive this person? Because it's not about forgiveness. You can forgive the person. However, if you're forgiving that person, it's not about, I got to still reconcile with you and I got to be with you just because I forgave you. That's not how it works. Okay. So you don't have to have an attitude with a person just because you've decided that you don't want to be with that person. Okay. So, what have I said so far? Your needs are not being met. I probably should put this up here so I won't keep looking away. So your needs are not being met. You're no longer being respected. Number 3, your goals and your values are not aligned. So you can meet a person and they are so fun, because I love to have fun. So meeting people, you having all kinds of fun with them, you hanging out, you kicking it. They're the person that you call and you share what kind of day you had. They are that is that dude, or that's that girl, or whatever. That is your bae, whatever. That is that person for you, is how you feel when you talk to them. But then when you get to talking about some serious grown-up stuff, then it's a whole different thing. So when you get to talking about, okay, well, what do you want to do within the next 5 years? Or you start talking about, like, how do you feel like bills and different things, that how should that be handled? Who should pay for dates? Like, just like basic kind of I feel like they're basic kind of things, but you differ. Your mindset is different. So I'll give you an example with this one. I was dating a guy, and I really, really enjoyed his company. I just felt super comfortable around him. But I started to notice as we were talking, he didn't give me this impression out on a date, but when we were talking, he was like, yeah, I feel like it should be 50-50. And some of you guys may feel that way, and no shade. If you feel that way, that's how you feel. But I feel like as a woman, I do everything that I can to look good, and I know some of you guys are going to like completely disagree, but this is my position. So whatever. Okay. So, I do everything I can to make sure that I look good. I do everything that I make to make sure that my date feels good while they're out there with me. And I feel like, that being said, I'm very traditional. So I don't mind cooking. I don't mind cleaning. I don't mind doing like female stuff. So I feel like my value system is more of a traditional value system, where the guys, I do all those kind of things that females do. And then the guy, he does things that guys do, which is they pay for dates. They come and pick me up. They open doors for me. They do things like that. So I don't ever have problems with this, but this one particular person was like, loved him to pieces as a person, but he's like, oh, that means I gotta come pick you up. Yeah. Like, we gotta have a date, like a real date. So if you still believe in the old school dates, give me some love, because I don't want to be out here by myself with this one. But I do believe if it's going to be 50-50, then I feel like I'm going to treat you like I would a girlfriend. So of course I'm not going to show up looking just a hot mess, but I may not put extra effort into how I'm looking. So if you just happen to get a good look, then, but I think differently when I'm going out with a guy than when I'm going out with a female. And if we paying 50-50, then I got to put you on that level. And I don't like to do that with dates. So basically our value systems were not aligned. Some women are completely okay with that. So fellas that do feel like that, like, well, it should be 50-50. Then there's women that are okay with that, but I'm not one of them. So it was kind of like, let me make sure that, it was kind of like one of those things where he needs to find somebody that is more aligned with his value system. Same thing with the household type of things. Of course, I'm going to contribute because I believe in contributing. But if we're talking about submission and things like that, then what am I submitting to if you're not handling the majority of the finances and things like that? You're making all these decisions, but I'm doing everything that you're doing. That makes no sense to me. So that's just me. So if you have a different outlook and a different view than a person you're dating, that is going to cause a constant conflict between you two because you think differently. So you definitely have to have someone that believes the same, they have the same value system. And it could be as simple as, it doesn't have to just be dating, but it could be, for example, if you don't believe in getting drunk. For me, I don't believe in being like tore down drunk. But this other person that you're dating, they believe Friday nights is get lit night. Okay. So, or they believe, I dated one person, I think I told you guys before, where they carried wine around all day. That was completely okay for that person. For me, that's doing too much. But that's my value system. I don't believe in getting drunk. So that's kind of like, he needs to be with somebody that is okay, has that same kind of a value system. Okay. So make sure your beliefs, your values are aligned, your goals. So if you're one to, like for me, I definitely have boss babe goals. Okay. So that being said, I have to be with the boss. Okay. So it's going to be very difficult for me to connect with somebody that doesn't think that way, because they're going to advise me in a different path. If my dream is to build an empire, or my dream is to build an organization or whatever, I need to be with somebody that has a similar passion or similar dream, similar goals, similar aspirations. Or they're not going to understand. They're going to discourage you from pushing toward your dreams and building your empire, or pushing towards your dreams of, reaching a certain level, even at your job. They'll be like, well, why aren't you okay with where you are? And I was in my marriage. That's what I dealt with, where, so thankfully I am divorced, but I dealt with that. Like, why aren't you happy with what you have? Like, you've accomplished a lot. So that being said, I had accomplished a lot, but I believe that there's more in me, and I believe that there's more in you. That's my value system. So that really wasn't working out, because we just have two different mindsets. Okay. So, so far your needs are not being met. You're no longer respected. Your goals and values are not aligned. Even if you have 3 of those things, like I got 2 more, but even with that, you need to let it go. Like, that's how you know it's time to let it go. If your needs are not being met, you're not being respected, your goals and values are not aligned, you just really enjoy being with that person. That is not enough. Okay? That is not enough to stay in a relationship with this person because you have a good time. And I know that, it's hard because as a single person, you get lonely. You want to spend your time with someone. You want to hang out. You want to do things. And that's okay to do things. But to take this person seriously and to really plan on building a future with this person, you can't do that. You got to let it go, no matter how good of a time you're having with this person. So number 4, the 4th thing is you are unwilling to compromise. So if you're unwilling to compromise, meaning that you have this vision for yourself and it's not changing, but this other person, they think differently, then you're going to have to let it go. Okay. So say, for example, you want to open a restaurant or whatever, and this person feels like owning a business is doing too much.com. If they feel that way, then, and you are going to own this restaurant regardless of what they say, you need to let that go, period. Because they are not going to be behind you. They are going to bring you down if you stay with a person that is not respectful of you. They don't have the same values and goals. Maybe they don't feel like money is important, or like, it's just money, it's not important. And that's okay if they feel that way. But that means, and you feel like money is more important, you need to let that person go, because that person is not, you're going to have constant conflict with that person. And that's not what you want with the love of your life. That's not what you want in a relationship. So what else? Number 5, your feelings are not reciprocated. So this is a tough one to share, but I feel like it needs to be said. Like, sometimes you could be with somebody, especially if you've been with somebody for years. You've been with them for years, and you may feel stronger for them, and they don't feel the same way about you. And as a result, they're not appreciating you. They're not respecting you. They just don't feel the same way about you anymore. I had a friend. Here's an example. I was married for several years, and we had just been through some really rough things. And as a result, I feel like his feelings had changed for me, and my feelings had also changed. But I feel like in some cases, his feelings may have changed more than mine in some cases. And he was moving on and was with different people. And I struggled with moving on and being with different people, thus this vlog, so I can share some of the stuff that I've been through. So I struggled with it. And I remember talking to one of my friends, and she was like, yeah, it's hard when they don't love you anymore. And I was like, like when they don't love you anymore, and you know that they don't love you and they're not in love with you anymore. Maybe they have love for you, but they're not in love with you anymore. So you can tell by the way they look at you. You can tell by the way they touch you. You can tell by the way they talk about you. You can tell the way they talk to you. They're not including you in their lives when they're talking about their future plans. You know that they're not in love with you anymore. When those feelings are not reciprocated, you may be in love with that person, but they're not in love with you anymore. It's a harsh reality, but that's when it's time to let go. And I know it might be easier hearing it from like a stranger like me in some cases. Some of you I know, some of you I don't, that's listening to this. But I know when my friend said it, it hurt. I was like, how could she say that? I didn't really say that to her, but I was thinking like, how could she say that? Like, why would you tell your friend that? Like, he doesn't love you anymore. She gonna say my husband doesn't love me anymore. You know, it's kind of how I took it. But reflecting on it, that was the truth. When he wouldn't be running around back then, it was like, we were younger, so it's not that serious. But we were like in our 20s, I think it was. And he was dating somebody that was like 18 years old. And I was like, I'm not even going to say a whole lot about her because that would be disrespectful, what I'm thinking. But he was dating someone that's like 18. And I was just like completely humiliated by the whole situation. So I was like, I felt like I was disrespected. He was definitely no longer in love with me. And he told me so. And that still wasn't enough. Like, it's still me trying to like find little signs like, yeah, I know he loved me because he wouldn't be arguing with me on the phone for 2 hours. He don't love you if he's arguing with you for 2 hours. Like, women, I don't know how we come up with this stuff, but we do. So that being said, I knew this was not like going to be like a super popular video, but I had to say it because I know that when I was going through those things, I really, really needed to hear. It's really time to let it go. Especially, I don't even have this on my list. Well, yeah, I guess I do. When they flat out tell you, like, this is cracking me up because I know I've been flat out told before, and I still found ways to like make it what I wanted it to be. It's like, for real? Like, looking back on it, it's hilarious, but I think I got attached for a couple of different reasons. So one was of my religious background, of forgiveness. Like, he said he didn't want me, but that's okay. I forgive him for that. Now he says he does want me. If a man or woman, if they ever tell you, I don't want you, goodbye. Goodbye in this life and future lifetimes, because that's ridiculous. If they go that far to tell you, I don't want to be with you, then that's it. Like, that wishy-washy thing, that's not cool at all. Like, it's not cool. That means you really need to let it go when somebody verbally tells you, I don't want to be with you. It's over. It's cut. Let it go. Okay? Don't be embarrassed like I was, because I was embarrassed by the other woman telling me he doesn't want to be with you. Wow. So I can laugh about it now, but back then I was like super embarrassing. So don't put yourself through that. So that takes me to the lesson, which is love yourself enough to let go of anything that no longer serves you. So some of you may be wondering, like, why would a person like me Why would I do that to myself? I will tell you why, and I'm not ashamed to say why I did that to myself. It's because I didn't love me. And sometimes looking back on it, I get mad at my old self sometimes, but I really need to give her a hug. Like, she needs like a whole lot of love, because she put herself through that. And I'm talking about myself in third person, because that is not me anymore. Like, I completely love myself. So if you say something to me like, I don't want to be with you like today, then you will never have to worry about talking to me again. Like, you'll never have to worry about me calling you. You'll never have to worry about me checking up on you or anything, because you have made that clear. So I'm going to respect your position, and I'm going to respect myself enough to let it go. Okay. So if you're struggling with this, one of the reasons why you're struggling with letting it go is because you have not got to the point to where you love yourself enough to let go of anything that no longer serves you. So if you're still struggling with it, then all you have to do is keep nurturing yourself. And I'm in this with you when it comes to that, because there have been some things as far as like, let me see here, like a disrespect. What did I say before? Needs not being met, communicating my needs, goals and values not being aligned, and just kind of struggling with that process of letting go. But I will tell you this, because I can't do a whole video on it, because how long have I been on? Like 30 minutes. So yeah, I got to stop. I can't do a whole video on how to let go, but I'll tell you this, that letting go is a process. So you can't, even if all these things that I said, I know for a fact from my own experience that even when you know it's time to let go, it's still going to be a process. So I don't expect it to be like cold turkey. And I would tell you not to look down on your friend. Don't look down on your friend or a person that's going through this because they have not cut that person off cold turkey. They still have to go through that process, but you can tell them that these are some signs. Like, these are some signs so that they know it's time to let go. Okay. So if you agree with some of the things that I've said, definitely hit the like button, hit the heart button, because I definitely want to know what you think. And before I end this video, I want to give you a question that came through and see what you guys think about this. So this guy, it was actually not like so much a question, but I feel like I can, something like that. But he said, I'm kind of going through something like that now. I still care for her, and we had our issues. We're not really together, but we still talk to each other. But she's always been I'm reading exactly what they said, secretly, I think he means and just secretive, and other things about her I could never feel comfortable with. So this is another thing. It wasn't on my list, but I wanted to read that to you, because sometimes you just enjoy spending time with this person. Like, I'm a very passionate person. So once I open up and I have love for you, I always have love for you. I'm just not necessarily going to be with you. So if you are like that person where you open up and you just like, oh, but my heart, I love him or I love her, and it's just hard for you to let go, just take that first step of acknowledging that it is time to let go. Anytime you say this person is like secretive, you can't trust that person, because I feel like I kind of combine the respect and the trust together. Respect and trust. If you respect a person, a lot of times you trust that person. I feel like they go hand in hand. So that's why I didn't really include trust together. But if you cannot trust that person, and there's several things that you're not comfortable with that person is doing, then you definitely need to let it go. And just acknowledge, like I said, right now, all we're doing is acknowledging that it's time to let it go. We're acknowledging that, because that's the first step to change, is just acknowledging that a change needs to be awareness, basically. Awareness, I need to make a change, okay? You don't have to make a change today. It's just saying, like, this is something that needs to happen. And then you work yourself through that process of change. Okay, so I didn't see anybody post any questions in here. I seen my girl come through and said self-love, and then I seen somebody said that they do believe in that old school dating. So I appreciate that comment. Who was that said that? Mike Jones. So big shout out to Mike Jones and that old school dating. I love that. And he also says holding things in could cause more problems. Earlier on when I was talking about, getting your needs met and things like that. So let me see if I missed anything else that people have said. And just that, that hashtag self-love was everything. So big ups to the bestie, joy to the world, because that's really all this is about, is just self-love. I do have a chapter in my book, There's More in You, about how to let go, and it takes you steps with how to let go, because I know this was like really, really hard for me to like really let go. And I really kind of figured out more of a logical way to approach when it's really time to let go of a relationship. So now that we're at the end here, and maybe you have decided it is time for me to let this go, and you've acknowledged it, what I always say about anything, make sure that you are looking good, make sure that you are feeling good, and make sure that you are being good, okay? Make sure that you're always doing all those things, because if you are about to go through a breakup, okay? If you are about to go through a breakup, then you need to be on your A game, okay? Get that breakup body, girl. And fellas, you can get that breakup body too. Hit that gym. Okay, so I see somebody, Adam. Hey, Adam. When your dislikes outweigh your likes, that's a big factor. So yeah, when you do that basic pros and cons, I would have said something like that, but I feel like in my case, I always talk myself in circles when I would do the pros and the cons. I have done that before, and I still talk myself into being with that person. Like, no, he still want me. And looking back on it was like, no, boo. He don't want you no more. And you can tell by his actions. You can tell by how he treats you. You can tell by how he looks at you. You can tell he does not want you anymore. So that was really tough. That was really tough. But it just is what it is. And the sooner you accept it, the better off you'll be. Always focusing on leveling up. And ladies, if that is hard for you to really like, oh, I think about him all the time, I talk about him all the time, I'm going to miss him, then just focus on your eyebrows, okay? So I'm really thinking about doing a beauty vlog as well. So let me know, ladies, if you would like to see some of that, because I know this is kind of mixed with the guys, and a lot of times I feel like guys watch this more than the females. So I think I would have to do like a separate channel for just the beauty stuff. But I'm telling you, ladies, it is it's like a fun distraction. Like going to the gym and focusing on your eyebrows, it will change your life. It will change, you will look better, and it will change your life. Okay. So that being said, I usually do leave a link for the Ipsy subscription if you want some beauty products. So let me know if you do when I leave a link for that. Otherwise, this is the big thing that I want everybody to do. So if you guys, I love that. Who's that? Bun Me said, I need love. I know. I love you. Is that enough? It might not be enough. But give me some love back. Give me a heart. So what I need everybody to do, though, that being said, I need everybody, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you like what I'm saying and you feel like it's helpful for you, then share this and then also subscribe to my channel, because I'm building it from the bottom up and I'm trying my best to stay motivated and to stay consistent with that. So if you like this and you want me to keep doing it, then your way of encouraging me is definitely to like the video, to give me some love. I At this point, I'm not paying for promotion or anything like that. I'm just doing it myself. And then also subscribe to my channel and sharing it with other people. Because one thing that I do know is people do need to hear it. I don't know if they want to though, because that's two different things. And this is kind of some rough content this time. So I had to do this one because it was from my heart. But if there was something else that you would have rather me talked about, or if there's something that you had a question about, definitely you can inbox me, or you could just post it on this video, future topics or things that you're interested in. But until next time, then look good, feel good, be good, and remember there's more in you. Goodbye, loves.